Call the meeting to order. Everyone please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Dear most kind, gracious Heavenly Father, God, thank you for this day. Lord, we come to you today and seeking wisdom to have the ability to serve the people and make the best decisions in the wisest way. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Doherty, will you call the roll, please?
Gillum.
Here.
Bunch.
Here.
Green.
Here.
Phillips is absent. Champlin.
Here. Okay, approval of December 21, 2023 City Council meeting minutes. Do I have any discussion in regards to December's? Yeah, last month's minutes. For some reason I thought it was February. Jeez. There be no discussion, do I have a motion to approve the December 21st minutes as written?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Doherty, call the roll, please.
Gillum.
Aye.
Bunch.
Aye.
Green.
Yeah.
Champlin.
Aye. Motion carried. Minutes are approved. Recognize citizens, guests, and visitors. Do I have anyone to come before the board? Okay, mayor's report. Lead line service inventory. We discussed this, we started 3 months ago?
Yeah.
3 months or so ago. This is an initiative that's coming down from the EPA through TDEC in regards to the service lines. This is not the, yeah, the service line. This is from the meter to the home. The city did work, it's been at least 20 years ago. The purpose of that back then, we had a lot of lead lines from the main to the meter. So those were all replaced, probably back around late 90s, 2000. Now they're looking at from the meter to the home. And what this is gonna consist of, and we have nice colored, we've got colored ones, don't we? Printed for the people. And the police department is going to go out to every residence in town. We have 800 and some odd water services in town. And give these handouts to the residents. And the purpose of this is to determine what type of service line you have from your meter to your home. Is it plastic, is it galvanized pipe, or is it lead pipe? And if anyone has a question, just please, they can fill this out. We need a return on these. So fill these out, get us back to us. If they don't know what they're looking at or what they need to do, we will send someone from the water department out to determine, which may entail digging next to the water meter with a shovel to get down to that service line to determine what the construction of that service line is. I don't think, one of the advantages of living in a poor town, lead is expensive. They didn't put lead pipe in homes like we lived in here in Rocky Top. You get into the high end, I think one of the hottest places in the state is Germantown. Right, where there's not a home worth less than $500,000. Well, they put expensive lead pipes in those homes, and all the rich people went crazy down there. So we've lucked out here. We had galvanized pipes. But I've got a feeling galvanized is in the future. It's coming within the next few years. Hopefully, there's not many galvanized service lines left in town because they should all be rotted out and replaced by now. But for the homeowners, please respond to us. You can just include this when they bring their water bill in, have this with their water bill, so we can, if we need to come out and assist the homeowner, we'll do that. There may be, I probably shouldn't say this right now, but there may be funding in the future from the EPA in regards to replacing service lines for individual residents. I see Jacob nodding his head there. I believe they discussed that at our TAUD conference back in August. So please respond to this handout.
And just to be clear, Public Works will come out to check to see if it's lead, not in replacing it.
No,
Okay.
if they have a problem
Right.
not being able to see what it is, yeah, we'll come out. We'll
Just to
send
see what
someone
it
from,
is.
correct. Lead service line, committee, reports, planning commission. Jeff, do you have anything?
Reappointment of Robert Sieber. Look at the agenda.
Reappointing Robert Sieber
Thank you.
for his seat on the planning commission. This would run through 12/17 of '27. And Robert is conducive. He's a good fit for the board, very intelligent person. We good with that, Jeff?
Yeah.
I'm tired, I'm sorry. It's been a long week. It has been a long week. I'm about to keel over here. Okay, do I have a motion to reappoint Mr. Sieber to the planning commission?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Mr. Bunch has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gillum seconded. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Aye.
Timlin.
Aye. Recreation Committee.
I guess we got two things. We didn't get to meet last month. We wouldn't have, I can't remember if we didn't have a quorum or if we didn't have anything on the agenda. We were gonna meet today at 5 to discuss, a tree grant for Abigail Park, which is the splash pad. But council meeting got moved to 5, so I'm gonna let Tim Hatmaker discuss the tree grant because he's got all the knowledge. He did a tree grant through the tree committee and has been awarded a few, and he knows all the ins and outs, but we've got a rendering of what we're trying to do down there. It's gonna provide a lot of shade. But Tim, do you wanna just go over all the details with it?
The state of Tennessee received $3.3 million in funding from the Inflation Reduction Act, and they sent us a proposal to put in for this grant on the 18th of December, late on the 18th. So we've been planning to plant some trees down there, and we've had multiple meetings since then with the ag extension agent, landscapers. The Park and Rec Committee knows about it. Our committee knows about it. But basically, this grant will provide between $10,000 to $250,000 for a project that would be specifically just to plant trees and for the maintenance of those trees. So what we proposed, and we had a professional landscape designer at no cost to the city do a design, and we have, he has a copy of it, and I have a copy if anyone wants to look at it. But we will have about approximately $18,000 involved in this, where we will plant trees that will provide canopy and a green space down at the splash pad area and the field next to it. We've left areas open in case we ever have future need for playground equipment or anything like that. And we have already looked for the utility lines, and we've also done a soil sample of the location, so everything looks good. But this grant is a 100% reimbursable grant. This is not a matching grant, it will pay for every dime of it. We've also requested that they put in an irrigation system that will also water the grass and the trees so that will reduce the maintenance impact on the city and it'll be able to give us a beautiful park. So that's pretty much sums it up. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
What's a fringe tree?
I would just have to show you a picture of it. The gentleman
Never
who
heard of
designed
one.
this, he has a 4-year degree in ornamental horticulture and landscape design from the University of Tennessee. And his mother was the former state forester. Now he works for the University of Tennessee in their tree development program. So he recommends that. I would just have to show you a picture of it. It's kind of-
I'll Google it up after the meeting. Yeah, I've never heard of a fringe tree. New and old me. Great.
Y'all need to vote.
Yeah, so, we have to, I guess, this is kind of like a last minute thing too. So, when we vote on this, what I would like to suggest, I'd like to make a motion that we vote to approve that we apply for this grant, and have Tim be one of the ones that is mostly involved in writing the grant because he's been so successful in the past. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some words that when you use certain words, they automatically reject it. Like, what was it, beautification was one of them?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
so-
like a dirty word. Even though we know that it is for beautification, if we use that term, it's almost an automatic, you flunk the test.
Right. So I'd like to have him oversee it, but that would be the motion that he's overseeing the writing of the grant, and we move forward with applying for this grant.
Okay, so we have a motion to apply for the grant, and Mr. Hatmaker will be the point of contact in regard.
Yeah, and also, the city has to pay the money up front, and then they reimburse us.
Right.
But they will have to approve before the city spends any money, they'll have to approve it and say, yea, verily, we're gonna give you the money for this, so we wouldn't.
So you know you're gonna have the return before you spend any money.
Yes.
Okay, we'll consider that the form of a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Butcher seconded. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Pimpleton.
Aye. General government report, city manager report.
No,
Oh,
we got one
what
more.
we got else?
I don't know, I didn't get a chance to get with the TDEC, the intent to
Oh,
apply.
okay, separate grant.
You wanna,
Yeah, all this is a recreation grant, and by February 22nd, we have to apply for it. So all you're voting on is the intent to apply, so Evan can go ahead and fill out the
What can this be
application.
used for?
It's to do ADA compliance at the ball field,
Great.
so that's what we're going after.
Okay. Sounds good. Do I have a motion to apply for the TDEC grant?
Make the motion, sir.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
second?
Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch.
Aye.
Green. Pimpleton.
Aye. General government report, city manager report.
The only thing I have is that we have finally got to the point where we can start collecting money, invoicing for the grants that we got for the sewer project. Evan, matter of fact, has sent some invoices here for the mayor to sign. And so we're at that point now. And also, I'd just like to thank the employees for their hard work this week in clearing the roads.
Exactly, including the mayor.
Yes.
And city manager.
Well,
So-
I did not see the city manager.
He was out.
Because you was in the bed, probably.
He was out at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
Well,
Sunday night.
thank you.
Because you was in the
Thank you.
bed. And that little green truck up there at the top of your drive, you need to move that so we can turn around.
It's moving.
Hopefully the work's over with pretty much for the week. I hope tonight's deal doesn't amount to anything. Oh, It's been a long week. Is this correct? December sewer adjustment, 0?
0.
Can't be right.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
I guarantee you, January's won't be 0. We already know that. We already know that. Police report.
Thank you. For activities and events within the police department for December statistics, our officers made 46 arrests. One of my officers got a comment and then had them double check it at the clerk's office that we accounted for over 40% of the arrests that went to Sessions 1 for December. So they were definitely been out there jobbing it and working hard.
You're doing a great
Traffic
job.
stops, we made 135. And I know last month the former judge had mentioned about leniency and so on and so forth. Sometimes our officers make stops and it's not for a clear-cut violation. It could be to check on someone, a welfare check. It could be for something that's suspicious that ends up not being anything. They also sometimes make arrests out of those which would not lead to a citation. Out of those 135 traffic stops, they made 10 arrests and wrote 27 traffic citations. Incident reports, they completed 66, and that's out of 426 calls for service for the month of December. We did have one overdose that we responded on. Our shift coverage, Anderson County and Campbell County still covering us late at night. However, during this inclement weather, Lieutenant McGee and myself have been working rotating shifts so that we're here during the night. The sheriff's office are on snow plan, so that way we can make sure that our citizens are protected and that we've got somebody here a lot easier to get to them from our station or from our city hall here. For grants, we received some evidence storage items that we applied for and received through the Violent Crime Intervention Fund. That we are still waiting on 2 vests that we ordered through the Bulletproof Vest Grant. And on the Toletta Recruitment Reimbursement Grant, we've got our new hire starting at the end of the month that we're going to send to the academy and take advantage of that grant. We have been working on the vehicle graphics for our Chargers that we bought used, that we got approval for a couple of months ago. We went today and got the second one back, and it's out here in the parking lot with the new style on it. So it's ready to go into service this evening with one of the officers. We sent Officer Wade and Officer Phillips to Middle Tennessee for a training on crime statistic reporting, which is something we're required to do for the TBI and for the FBI. So they went there and attended that during the month of December. Officers, for cases of significance, officers made several felony drug arrests in December. Some of those also included like violations of the drug-free school zone, which were where they found felony drugs on someone allegedly within 500 feet of one of the schools. So we're making sure that we address that and take care of that so the court can handle it as best as they can. And then we also have a death case from December that we're still investigating, waiting on the medical examiner's office. There was nothing with that investigation that seemed like anything for concern for public safety. Budget, we're halfway through the year and we're at 50.39% of spending the money that we've been allocated, including the grant monies that have been awarded for the police department, so we're only about $2,800 over. I foresee us evening that out by the end of the budget cycle. On personnel, I saved that one for last. We have the new officer starting at the end of this month. We had made job offers, and at the time I sent my report, we were waiting to see if those 2 already certified officers were going to accept those, and I found out today that they have. So that should put us at full strength for Rocky Top Police Department whenever.
Okay, so then
those
you'll
start.
have 24-hour coverage.
Yes, we can go back to 24-hour coverage and run it that way. Assistant Chief Woods retired this last weekend was his last day. He put in 31 years here for the city, if I'm not mistaken. And I'd invited him to be here, but he wasn't able to, but to thank him for the time that he had put in and the efforts that he had done for the citizens here. And last that I want to do is with the retirement of Assistant Chief Woods, I'm going to designate those duties under the title of Deputy Chief to Lieutenant Matt McGee. So he'll still be a lieutenant, but he'll be conducting those duties for the police department as a deputy chief, be able to fill in whenever I have to be elsewhere or anything that needs that. He's already been a great help since he's been here. He's got a heart for this community and for helping the police department and the city run as professionally as they can. And his wife is here to pin him, if I may do that, before
Yes.
city council.
Please.
Come on up, Lieutenant.
Get your hands out of your pockets.
Army glove.
So he hasn't had a chance to get in trouble yet. That sounded faked. So it's for next month's report because it was a training in January, but Lieutenant McGee went to instructor development, which includes public speaking, so I'm gonna let him speak real quick before he sits down.
I appreciate you all giving me the opportunity to come up here and work and try to make Rocky Top the city that it should be and help protect the citizens and try to clean it up a little bit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Rocky Top Fire Department. Responded to 24 EMS calls last month, no structure fires, 4 lift assist, 2 motor vehicle accidents, 4 service calls, 1 overdose, and 1 standby for the landing zone. They responded to a total of 580 calls for the year of 2023. 36 calls for the month of December. Public Works. 28.5 tons of garbage and 20.5 tons of brush. On Public Works, the garbage pickup, that's about. It's weird, we're running a lot less here. We've been running over 40 tons.
I didn't see it. What was it?
We're missing
I think
something.
last month was the one that was a problem, because it's normally been running 20, 30.
Did we get that straightened out with Chestnut Ridge on the, I think we added an extra 0 to something? Yeah,
I think last month was the problem.
yeah. It was, I think they thought we had hauled 11 tons of brush or something in one load, and there's just no way you can't get that much on it. Okay, they repaired equipment, cleaned out the shop, they got the oil, the recycled oil burner, had a lot of issues with it, and they've been working and cleaning, and it's finally running probably about 80% of the time. Now our problem is finding used oil. So if you know anyone that has used oil that wants rid of it, we need it. Keep the shop warm. Repaired street signs on Alley Street twice. There's people knocking the signs down. We're gonna have to look at something up there. Apparently, there's an issue with GPS or Google Maps or something, but if you punch in Coal Creek Campground, it will turn you up alley beside Domino's, up to Popcorns. And now they get up there with a 40-foot RV pulling a trailer with razors on it right in front of Dwayne Seaver's house.
I've seen him
They can't
post,
back out.
I've seen him post pictures of several tractor and trailers
Yeah.
in front of
Well,
his house. from
one
his-
a couple of years ago knocked the fire hydrant down there on the corner of Alley and Wallace. I need to talk to the homeowners. There's only like, what, 5 homes up there?
Sounds right.
Mike's mama, Mike's house, and then Popcorn and Benny and Mike, and then the people who got the place that Sammy bought at the end of the street. That should be a one-way street. Do not enter from the bottom. The people who live there would know better, but someone that doesn't, they're a whole lot less apt to turn up a street that says one-way, do not enter, than a street that says no turnaround, because they don't believe no turnaround.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna have to do something because it's becoming a somewhat regular occurrence. Okay, December's water department report, repaired 4 3/4-inch service lines, meters, hang tags, anything special last month. 15 wet weather, reports that had to be sent in, to the state because we had overflows. One of the things I hope gets better, if we can move forward for this. The Bar Environmental installed the new polymer pump for the sludge press. It's too cold right now to do anything with it. Weather gets back up, in the 40s or above, they can start pressing some sludge and see how that new system works. So hopefully it's gonna work really well. Had 2 violations at the wastewater plant because of the heavy rains on the 9th and 10th of December. To be expected, we got, what was the total? 3 inches? We got on the 9th. I believe it was better than 3 inches. I know I called the sewer plant at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we had 1.5 inches.
Yeah, I remember you saying
At 7
that.
o'clock in the morning, we had 1.5 inches. They shut the rotors off, on the oxidation ditch, the rotor, because the other rotor's already shut off, and reported it to TDEC and the EPA. What we do, it happens. Monthly water loss report, we're up to 37.5%, and that's not good.
It's down from last month.
Yeah, it is down, but it's still too high. We've not found anything they have found has been a little piddling crap. You're looking for a major leak out there, a major hidden leak, but we're just not having any luck finding it.
And I did get a letter back from the Water Utility Board. And I had to get TAUD to come in. We had to write a letter to them to try to get in compliance with the state
Okay.
because of the 40% loss. So we're working on that right now.
Okay. Resolutions and ordinances. First reading of new ordinances. Ordinance number 582, an ordinance to amend the Rocky Top Municipal Code by revising Water and Sewer Title 18, Section 18, TAC 103, residential renters refundable fee.
That's just going from $100 to $300, and it's
Okay.
refundable
I'm
when they
looking for the
come in.
I'm looking for the 300. Okay, here we go, yeah. For rental properties, the deposit is increasing to $300. Purpose for this being, we have had issues, and I'll say it's fairly regular occurrence. Renters skipping out they got a $500 water bill, they're gone, all they lost was $100 on the deposit, and that hurts us. As I said, it happens on a fairly regular basis. So by increasing to $300 for rental properties, maybe that will convince them to come in, if they have a bill for less than that, to come in and pay the bill off before they leave. So do I have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 582?
Make the
Any
motion.
questions? Wait a minute, any questions?
I do have a question, but that doesn't have anything to do with the ordinance, I don't guess.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Make the motion.
Do I have a second? Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green,
Aye.
Tinsley.
All right. Okay, ordinance number 582, approved on the first reading. Ordinance number 583. This is an ordinance of the City of Rocky Top, Tennessee, amending Title 15 of the Municipal Code to adopt by reference state traffic offenses and rules of the road. This is adopting of state traffic statutes under Tennessee Code annotated 16 TAC 18 TAC 302. I'm not going to get down in the weeds, but this is all, what's the best definition of this, Chief?
Yes, sir. The state traffic codes that are C misdemeanors, that would be all of the things that are generally called infractions. It would be speeding, not having proper equipment on your vehicle, the off-road vehicles that are authorized for being used on the city streets here in Rocky Top. If we have an ordinance there, instead of charging those into state court, and so, quite a few of them we already had an ordinance for, but there were several that we didn't. For example, the off-road vehicles. That way we can cite those into Rocky Top Municipal Court instead of into state court down in Clinton.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, do I have a motion to approve on the first reading ordinance number 583? Do I have a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Dillon,
Aye.
Bunch, Green, Tinsley.
Aye. Okay, no second readings, adoptions of resolution 595. This is a resolution for the tentative award of the City of Rocky Top wastewater collection system rehabilitation contract. The bids were opened on the 11th? On the 11th. The low bidder was North Brothers Excavating with a bid of $4,631,897.75. Their bid was deemed,
Non-responsive.
what's that again?
Non-responsive.
Non-responsive. It was missing.
They had multiple missing items.
Okay. So the next lowest bid was Morgan Contracting with a bid of $5,449,280. Okay, whereas the low bid was deemed ineligible, that the tentative award be made to Morgan Contracting. I think we need to discuss our issues here.
We got Jacob going to talk in new
Okay,
business,
great. Yeah, good.
but if y'all don't
Please.
care, he can go
Please.
ahead and talk.
Yes.
Well, as the mayor mentioned, we opened bids for the sanitary sewer collection system rehabilitation project on last Thursday, January the 11th. We had 4 bidders on the project. Bids ranged from 4.6 to 7.6, so throughout the 2 outliers, and the 2 in the middle were within 3% of each other, so that's a valid bid. The low bid was Norris Brothers, and the mayor said they were non-responsive, or deemed non-responsive, as they were missing multiple items within their bid package that was required. The next low bid was Morgan Contracting out of Knoxville. We would recommend the council and the mayor and the city award them the project contingent on funding approval and gaining additional funding. The resolution is for the city to sign so Evan can approach SRF, State Revolving Fund, to gain additional money. The city is currently funded for 4.3 and bids come in at 5.4. So that's what the resolution is for, is to get a larger loan to be able to proceed with the project.
They were about $1.1 million higher than we anticipated.
Yes.
One of the problems we get into with the way the grant system works, when did this start, 2019?
The initial project started in 2016. We moved forward in 2018. We tried to go to actual bidding and construction in 2020. Everything got put on hold through COVID. The benefit of that is at that point in time, you were looking at probably a $4 million project, and it was all going to be one entire loan. Part of COVID allowed us to get the city an additional funding through grants and ARPA money that contributed to, I think, 2.1 of the total project. And then the rest of it was going to be covered by SRF. The bad part of COVID is it delayed it. Prices went up. Supply and demand with the contractors now, because everybody has the same funding through the grants and they're all trying to push projects out. So contractors,
Nobody's hungry. There's no
Exactly.
contractor out there looking for work.
Yes.
They got to work.
Yep.
That's the downside.
So the resolution, get another 1.1, 1.2 from SRF to proceed with the project. The benefit of that, SRF should hopefully maintain their principal forgiveness that you have on the existing loan right now, which is 40%. So rough numbers, you get $1 million loan, you only have to pay back 600,000 of that. So,
Well, our options here, and I don't think reducing scope is even an option.
if we have to reduce scope, and we've done that, we have went through the last 6 years of data that we have in our office and that we've done our studies on, and we have narrowed our plan set down to hit your main areas that are causing your infiltration and inflow, which is creating all your sanitary sewer overflows and your shutdowns at your plant. If you reduce scope now, you're just delaying that having to be fixed. Previous
We're gonna pay
administration.
more for it later.
Exactly. So, cost you $1 million now, you do it in 5 years, it might cost you $2 million.
Also, talking to Evan earlier today, he don't think that the funding agencies will allow us to reduce the scope
Correct. This
once we award
Because
it.
it's already set.
Yes.
Everything's set.
And we got to remember also that SRF, if they don't do the initial funding, then it's up to us to come up with that money. So we got to take that into account too.
That's why they pay us the big bucks here.
So,
I am approaching, county commission, I believe the county mayor's already been approached. We're looking for additional funding.
through Anderson.
Recovery Act funds that the county still possesses, and we're getting some from them.
250,000.
Right. We are, hopefully, they can increase that. It's kind of, it's in their best interest. If 5 years down the road, and I've said this in several meetings and outside of meetings, I think ultimately you're gonna see Anderson County Water Authority running our system here. Just one of those, you can pay me now, pay me, you can cough up a little here, or 5, 10 years from now, you can write this same check for 15 million. You know,
Yep.
it's, so it would behoove them and be beneficial for everyone all around, and I really hope that they could increase that Recovery Act funding to help us out with that. I'm gonna read the rest of the resolution, that the tentative award be made to Morgan Contracting Incorporated of Knoxville, Tennessee at the total bid price of $5,449,280, contingent on approval from the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation State Revolving Fund Loan Project, the TDEC State Water Infrastructure Grant Non-Competitive Program, and the Community Development Block Grant Program, and the Appalachian Regional Commission Program. That the city of Rocky Top will be responsible for any additional funding needed to award the contract, and that upon approval of authority to award package from all 4 funding programs, I am authorized to sign the required documents to proceed with construction. Do I have any discussion in regards to this resolution?
If we want any growth in this town, it's gotta be done.
Well, and, you know, here's the problem with pushing things down the road. It's 5.4 now. Next year is gonna be 6.5. It's, nothing's gonna get cheaper. One of the things that really skyrocketed on these bids was the the cured in place lining.
Yep.
That had basically doubled
Yeah,
in price.
we opened a bid in Chattanooga area 5 weeks ago, and from then to now, the price has doubled. And that's just a supply and demand issue.
$70 a foot to approximately 140 a foot.
And take some of the stuff in and out of that, you're probably looking realistically at a 60 to 75% increase if you compare apples to apples.
I don't think inaction is a course we need to take. This hurts. We're gonna have to spend some money. Any further discussion in regards for the resolution? There being no further discussion, do I have a motion to approve resolution number 595 for the tentative award, the sewer rehab bid?
Make a motion to approve Morgan, is it Morgan?
Morgan Contracting?
Yeah, Morgan
Green has
Contracting.
made a motion to approve, or, made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second, sir.
Mr. Gillum seconded. Mr. Doherty, call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch, Green,
Aye.
Timpson.
Aye. No old business to come before the board. New business, Cannon Amendment Number 1, additional services for the wastewater treatment plant improvements. Okay.
Jacob can explain that to you.
Jacob, please.
Okay. What that is for is this is for the wastewater treatment plant projects, which was spawned from the EPA. We are under contract with the city right now to design the improvements that were required by the EPA and to give you a set of plans and specs. We have those. When we did the initial contract, we were not sure how the city was gonna fund it, but we had to have something in the works to satisfy the EPA. Now that it's time that the plans and specs are finished, we have to figure out how to fund it. The solution to that is SRF. Well, part of the SRF package, when you go to submit to get approval, is you have to have plans and specs, also a engineering report. And the amendment that is before you now is for us to write the engineering report.
Engineering report. Any questions, discussion in regard to? This is additional services contract. What, the price on this was it 40 something?
45.
45.
I think it's 45 or 47. I'd have to look.
Okay.
I don't have that one in front of me.
45,000 sticks in my head for some reason, so. No, we just spent 5.4 million, what's 45,000? I mean. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the Cannon contract for additional services for the wastewater treatment plant improvements?
I'll make that motion, sir.
Okay, Mr. Gillum's made the motion. Do I have a second? Okay, Mr. Bunch is second. Mr. Doherty, call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch, Green, Timpson.
Aye. Okay, TDEC, ARPA admin contract needs to be adjusted down some. The original contract was for $68,800, and Evan would like to adjust it down for the new total amount of $43,051. We don't see stuff like this before the board often. Actually, a price going down. So I definitely want someone to make a motion to approve to adjust the original contract from $68,800 down to $43,051.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr. Bunch made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, sir.
Mr. Gillum seconded. Call the roll, please.
Gillum,
Aye.
Bunch,
Aye.
Green, Timpson.
All right. Finalize SRF funding contract for administrative services, $39,750. Do I have a motion? This is,
Basically the same thing, it's just a funding agency that they haven't done the administrative services contract, and this is the contract for that.
okay. Does Evan works on
Yep.
this, doesn't he? Okay. Do I have a motion to pay, the SRF funding contract, $39,750?
I'll make the motion, sir.
Okay. Mr. Gillum's made a motion. Do I have a second? Okay, Mr. Bunch has seconded. Call the roll, please.
Dillon,
Aye.
Bunch, Green, Tinter.
Aye. I think Jacob's already done the last one, hasn't he? So we're good to go on that. Anything else there? There are copies of the contract here. Is there any further business to come before the board? There'll be no further business to come before the board? 547. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Grange made the motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, I'm already gonna be able to sleep tonight.
any hours left?
Cause that, I ain't gonna be able to sleep.